Well, that's the background. I'm joined now from Strasbourg by the Conservative MEP and their leader in the European Parliament, Martin Callanan, from Berlin by the Christian Democrat MP Ralph Brinkhaus, who sits on the Finance Committee in the Bundestag, and from Athens by the Greek Prime Minister's advisor, Professor George Pagoulatos. Professor Pagoulatos, I mean, listening to all that, do you fear that the mood is absolutely changing and that some people want to edge Greece out of the Eurozone?
Well, I can understand that the mood may be changing in some circles, but let's not forget Greece is undergoing the most painful adjustment program that has been applied in the Eurozone. It is a program that is causing a lot of pain in Greek society, but it is delivering results. The primary budget deficit has been cut down by 18 billion. This is a reduction by 19 billion. This is a reduction of nearly above 8% of GDP. Competitiveness is catching up. Many of the adjustment targets are being met. And a few days ago, an extremely painful adjustment reform program was passed from the parliament with a 2/3 majority. There's a solid majority in Greek society backing the country's commitment to the euro, and that's what it's all about.
Okay, well, Herr Brinkhaus, I mean, do you believe, as the German Finance Minister, Herr Schäuble, suggested, that Greece still, despite all that, is a bottomless pit? Because many of your German colleagues seem to do so.
Yes, that's right, but it depends on the people in Greece, if it is a pit or not. Because the Greek people and the Greek politicians have to help us now, to build up credibility, because we need this credibility to argue with our people in Germany that we can spend, or better, that we can invest money in Greece.
So, but do you sense, Herr Brinkhaus, that the mood has changed in Germany? The rhetoric has changed. The opinion poll Stern published a poll suggesting that many Germans now feel that the euro would survive if Greece was pushed out.
Yeah, it's a good question if the mood has changed so far. I think we are now at the brink in a discussion. And there is a certain line, and we should not pass this line. And we will pass this line if we continue in negotiating with the Greek government till the very end of the night, till the very end of the day, and then in the last minute getting a solution. This is not good, because politicians and also markets do not like surprises. And so what we need is credibility. We have to build up this credibility, and if not, we certainly will pass this line.
Right. Well, Mr. Callanan, from where you sit, the mood is clearly changing a bit in Germany. Do you see it changing on other places too? Finland, the Netherlands? In other words, are some of the northern European countries getting rather fed up?
I think the evidence is that they are getting very fed up with it. You know, they're imposing many conditions after conditions on Greece, and when they meet or say they're going to meet the latest conditions, new ones are dreamed up. And I think it's obvious now that the finance ministers, or some of them, have got an agenda that now that they've put the firewalls in place, that, you know, Greece is only 2% of the Eurozone, they could actually ask Greece to leave. And actually, I think it's now becoming increasingly obvious that this is actually in Greece's interests as well. You know, they're going to be faced with years and years, not just a few months, of grinding austerity to implement this 30% internal devaluation, of cuts in wages and welfare benefits and pensions. And after all of that, by 2020, if they meet all their targets, and they haven't met any of their targets yet, they will be back to approximately the same position that Italy is now. You know, it's unsustainable in the long term, and it's destabilizing the whole of Europe. We need to get on with it and ask them to leave.
Well, Professor Pagoulatos, we need to get on with it and ask them to leave. You're 2% of Europe's GDP. The Eurozone could survive without you. It's looking pretty grim, isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure that being fed up is a good guide for sound policy decisions. As for credibility, Greece's government, now led by Governor Papadimos, Governor ex-ECB vice chairman, that is, he's never been with Goldman Sachs, by the way. He's always been a civil servant. either in Frankfurt or in Greece. This is a government that is backed by Greece's two main parties. It is solidly behind it is a majority of Greek society which stands for Greece's commitment to the euro and is ready to take whatever is necessary in order to consolidate our position with the euro.
Why? Sorry to interrupt. But may I just ask you, though, why was your president so irritated today by what he saw as an insult from Germany? I mean, was it the bottomless pit remark? I mean, what is it that got at him?
Well, I think that European countries and European political leaders should behave with a degree of solidarity and respect to each other that comes with being members of the European Union. But let me just say that Greece is committed to a very specific program. This is not what I said. I think it is beside the main point. The main point is that we are following an adjustment program. And the main thing, if you like, that is driving this extremely painful adjustment program is the understanding that any alternative would be far more disastrous. I think it is broadly understood in Greek society, including all political forces in the Greek parliament, with the exception of the Communist Party. Disastrous for Greece.
Let me come to the Eurozone. Not disastrous for the Eurozone. Yes, indeed. That is indeed what I'm asking.
Yes. Let me come to that. It has been said that it is less disastrous today than it was a year ago, and I can abide by that. But it is still extremely destabilizing for any Euro member state to depart the Eurozone. That would be the beginning of the unraveling of the Eurozone. It would be the beginning of a slippery slope. It would create a panic of depositors with banking systems. Speculators in markets would start speculating who will be next.
Okay.
It will create enormous instability in the Eurozone, and that is why the same decision that has been made by the European Council has been to keep the periphery within the Eurozone at any cost, because any cost is lower than the cost that would be
bring in Ralph Brinkhaus on that.
If any country were to exit.
You've been very clear. Ralph Brinkhaus, I mean, that is also the view of Olli Rehn, isn't it, the Commissioner? So it would be absolutely disastrous for the Eurozone if Greece left. Do you agree?
Partly. Let me say that we have to take care for Greece anyway, within the Eurozone, within the European Union or outside the European Union. So we have to pay the bill, and at the very end of the day Germany has to pay the highest amount of this bill. And so we have to search for a good solution. And we are not sure whether it is a better solution to get an uncontrolled default and taking care to Greece afterwards, or to organize it in a way that everybody can stand it. It is true that the banking system is better prepared for a default of Greece than it was 12 months ago. And I guess that even the governments are better prepared for this.
May I ask
I do not know if the...
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Brinkhaus, but you said something very interesting there. So are you saying that it would be possible for Greece to leave the Eurozone, but Germany and other countries would still make arrangements to look after Greece, as you put it? So that is a possibility.
It would not be the better way. Because I guess it will be much more harder for the people in Greece taking this way. But it could be a way that they leave. But and this is very important because there are some rumors these days. Germany never would demand from the Greek people to get out. Right. Germany is not in the position to demand it, and we will never do it.
Indeed.
So it's their own decision.
OK, but let me bring in Mr. Callanan on that, because we understand, you know, that Germany, we're all prisoners of our history. Germany has to be very polite publicly about this, but it may be behind the scenes people are taking a very similar view in Germany to the one that you just expressed, Mr. Callanan, which is the Greeks should get out.
I've certainly spoken to a lot of German politicians who say exactly that. And Germany's in a very difficult position. You know, I sympathise greatly with them. They feel as though they've acted honourably, and you know, but they're now faced with a fundamental choice. Are they prepared to spend large amounts of their taxpayers' money on propping up Greece? And I don't just mean loans, which they're being offered at the moment. I mean direct fiscal transfers, because that's what's required to make this monetary union between two different disparate cultures and economies to make it work correctly. And it seems to me that if the Germans are not prepared to do that, and all the evidence is that they aren't, then let's get on with it and take the difficult decisions, because the uncertainty is destabilizing the whole of Europe. It's, of course, affecting the UK as well, even though we're not, thankfully, part of the euro. It's unsettling everybody. I think my view is that the finance ministers have decided that they're going to ask Greece to leave. Let's get on with it and end this uncertainty of constant bailouts after bailouts.
OK, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you all very much. Thank you.